Hey there, and welcome to the Heal with Grace podcast. I'm your host, Grace Secker, and I'm a holistic licensed therapist and nervous system coach who believes that the chronic and often unseen symptoms you're living with are a sign of something deeper going on, a sign that your nervous system needs attention. In each episode, I'll share the science behind the most common chronic health disorders, plus holistic tips using mental, physical, and spiritual practices. You'll hear what I've learned in my journey and the true stories from our trusted guests so you can feel less alone in your experience and give yourself grace no matter what you're going through. So without further ado, settle in and get cozy. It's time to heal with grace. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Heal with Grace podcast. I am excited for today because we're going to take it back to the basics. So if you've been listening to this for a while, this is going to be probably a good overview, or maybe even something you're like, oh, I hadn't thought about it like that before, right? This episode is also meant to be a starting point. So maybe someone sent this to you, or if you're someone who Googled or AI searched holistic or mind body healing or nervous system healing, then maybe you found this. And I want this to be an entry point so that you can understand, what are we actually saying when we say your nervous system is involved in your pain or your illness, your migraines, your chronic back pain, your neck pain, your chronic fatigue, your IC, your pelvic floor pain. So much of our nervous system is involved in our symptoms. And actually, I'm going to teach you that it's not just involved, it is totally the cause of what you're experiencing physically in your body. So, if that's you, or if it's someone you love, maybe you're trying to help someone out that you love, I'm going to break down one of the most important ideas here and explain it to you really simply. Just the thing that I wish someone had explained to me like very early on when I was struggling with my own pain and illness. So let's get into it. First and foremost, let me paint you a picture of if you're in the right place or not. You have had symptoms, meaning certain pains, certain diagnoses of illness, certain gut issues, back issues, illnesses. Maybe you've gone down the rabbit hole of different hormone healths, cortisol spiking, immune system decreasing, and you have no idea why. And maybe you try so many things to help yourself, like a morning routine, an evening routine, eliminating caffeine, quote unquote, cleaning up your diet. You're trying so many things to help yourself, trying to sleep better, right? You're trying to do everything right. And maybe you're starting to feel a little bit better about that, but your physical symptoms haven't changed. And maybe you actually still feel like you're fragile. Or you've done none of that at all, and you're just like, I don't know what to do anymore. Help me, because you've gone to so many different doctors, so many different specialists. And for some people, the tests keep coming back fine, like there's nothing wrong. For other people, they come back with certain labels. It's not a functional diagnosis, meaning there's nothing wrong with your organs. There's not a fractured bone, something like that. The functional diagnoses have stayed around for a while. And this could be anything from hypermobility, a bulged disc, bursitis, hip instability, back instability, an embedded infection, high inflammation, gut dysbiosis, mold. Maybe you've had the explanation that you have SIBO in your gut. Maybe you have food sensitivities like out the wazoo. I'm trying to think of more because there's a lot more, but these are many, many examples of what you might have been told that you're trying to help yourself with. And you're trying so many things, but it might not actually be working that well. Right. And this is so, I have to say this first. Like, this is not to say, like, oh, F the medical system. Like, nothing's going to work. It's all to hell. You just have to manage the rest of your life. You're just someone that's sensitive and is going to have things wrong with you. I am not saying that. What I'm actually really saying is that there's just a lot of this nervous system, mind, body health information and education and research out there now that people just don't know about. Like, doctors don't know yet. Other practitioners don't know yet. We're trying to change that. By the way, if you are a practitioner listening to this, I have something for you towards the end of this episode. But my point being is that this is new information. And so we're making progress helping you get out of these stuck places, whether it's dizziness, gut stuff, headaches, anxiety, perfectionism, all of these things that lead up to what we know is a stressed nervous system and a brain stuck in danger mode. So I want to explain to you what that means. Basically, your body has gone through a lot over time. Maybe you're like, I don't even know what it's gone through. That's okay. It's usually underneath the surface. There's a lot of subconscious happening right now. Or maybe you're someone who's like, yeah, I've had trauma in my life. I know that it's stuck in my body. I know I need help. Okay, cool. You're in the right place. But if you're still kind of questioning all this, I want to walk you through this. So let's talk about your nervous system. I want you to think of your nervous system and your brain as your body's built in security system. So, when we talk about your brain is causing more symptoms, literally your brain is the powerhouse. So, when there's something going on in your body that is either it is inflammation or it is a virus or it's a sensation like pain that sends signals from the part of your body where you're feeling pain up to your brain categorizes those things as dangerous. And then it sends signals to your body to say, hey, danger, danger, let's feel pain, let's feel illness, let's feel something because we're not okay. And that's a great response. We need that, right? We need our bodies to be on alarm and to help us. The problem is that if you're listening to this or you're thinking of someone right now, it's probably because that signal, that danger signal in your brain and the stress place in your nervous system is stuck. It's always on danger, it's always stressed. And what we need is to help rewire that because what it's doing is it's constantly scanning. Am I safe right now? Am I in danger? And it's doing that under the surface all day without you ever thinking about it. And so what most people don't understand or never got taught, like we just never taught this. We never knew this is that your nervous system isn't just on or off. It's not just stress or calm. It shifts between it like different gears. So for example, safe and settled, rest and digest of your nervous system, which is one state of being, is the first gear. It's where your body doesn't need the danger mode. It knows that you're okay. Your digestion works well. You're sleeping okay or really well. You feel connected to people. You can rest. You can enjoy things. Your body is doing all its background repair work. And this is where the healing happens. This is the home base. Now, when people talk about needing to be less in the stress response and more in the relaxation or rest and digest response, we're not talking about being there all the time. That's not normal. What's normal is going in from stress to non stress, rest and digest into fight or flight or freeze, and back and forth. The problem is that if you're listening to this, you're probably more in the fight, flight, freeze, stuck place more often than not. And what we want is you to be more fluid in both and probably more often than not in the rest and digest, safe and settled into that first gear. So that's the whole point of this. Now, let me explain the second gear. The second gear is what most of us know as fight or flight. Think of it as slamming on the gas pedal. Your heart speeds up, your muscle tenses, your breathing gets shallow, your stomach knots up, your body's getting ready to handle a threat. Literally to fight back against something, whether that's external, like fighting a person or fighting yourself. A lot of times our bodies fight itself, which leads to pain or illness because there's a war, if you will, within us. And the stress response, the fight or flight, is something we actually very much so need in short term danger, right? If a dog lunges at you or a car swerves into your lane, you want to hit the gas pedal the other way. You want to run the other way. Again, the problem is when your body gets stuck with the gas pedal pressed down for weeks or months or years. That's when you get things like chronic tension, pain, racing heart rate, gut problems, high inflammation, the wired anxious feeling that won't turn off, immune response is low. Because if you think about it, when you're stuck in that fight or flight, you're on guard all the time, and that's exhausting for the body. So it depletes other parts, other ways of your body regenerating. It depletes your immune system. It may not be able to fight a virus very well when you're in the constant stress response. You wear down over time. So, when something does come into your body, whether there is an initial infection or maybe you started eating a certain way and you started getting sensitive to foods, it's not about the food. It's not about the initial injury or the initial danger that happened in your body. That is just the last straw. So, I hear this all the time. For example, I have a client who had a strain in her knee after working out one time. It wasn't a pop, it wasn't a tear, it wasn't anything crazy. She just noticed the next morning waking up being like, "Oh, something's wrong." And now she's had chronic knee pain for years ever since then. And so she's like, oh, I did something wrong in that workout. What often happens is that it's not the workout, it's actually stress built up over time in the stress response to where finally your body goes, okay, well, we can't handle this stress. We don't know what to do with it. We don't know what to do with this difficult relationship or this hard place in our job, or maybe we don't feel really good about where we're living, or maybe we've never learned to express our emotions. And so your brain and your nervous system say, okay, well, there's a susceptibility to pain in this knee. And it's a lot easier to feel pain in physical form than it is emotional or mental form. So we're going to send some danger to that knee so you can focus on it instead of these other things like emotions that we're hiding you from. That's what's happening. Now, I got a little sidetracked. So let me talk about gear 3, which is the shutdown. And then I'm going to summarize all this. So the shutdown is the brakes or running on empty. If fight or flight is the gas pedal, the gear 3, the shutdown, is slamming the brakes. When your system has been in danger mode for too long and it feels like it can't fight or escape, it does the only thing left. It powers down to protect you. And this is where a lot of things like fatigue live, depression, that bone deep exhaustion, brain fog, numbness, the feeling of being checked out or flat, or even sometimes that tired but wired. Maybe you feel like you're watching your life from behind glass. If you ever wondered why you're so tired when it doesn't feel like you've been doing that much, this is probably why. Your body is literally saying, like, hey, we can't keep going like this. And it's just safer to shut you down instead of actually confront what we need to confront in life. And when I say that, I also want to mention it's not because you're too weak to confront it. It's not about you. It's not something you're doing or not doing on purpose. This is totally subconscious and happening underneath the surface. So basically, a healthy nervous system moves in and out of these gears all day, weeks, months, throughout your life, and then comes back home to safe and settled. And that's normal. That's healthy. But when your nervous system gets stuck on the gas or stuck on the brakes, it sounds the alarm to the brain and says, we're not okay, danger. So your brain says, okay, let's find some kind of susceptibility in the body. Maybe you had a bulged disc at one point. Maybe you've had migraines, or maybe your family's had migraines. And so your brain goes, well, that's something that we know. Or maybe you've had a little bit of sensitivity to some foods, and so now it's going to really ramp that up and make you sensitive to all foods and have gut issues. Maybe you have hypermobility or Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and that is real and functional. But your brain goes, okay, well, we're just going to attach to that and send more symptoms like dizziness or POTS, or you're going to injure yourself more. And that's why you have pain. That's why you have issues, is because of this syndrome. I know that might sound a little out there, but we see it time and time again, let alone the amount of times that we can look in the past. Like, for example, two people can have the exact same scan, x-ray of their spine next to each other. One has the exact same bulge disc in the same place as the other person. One has pain, one does not. One person is diagnosed with hypermobility in their bodies, or two people are, right? Two people are diagnosed with this because they go through testing and it's obvious. It's something that we can actually say with a structural test. One person has issues, pain, different types of diagnoses and labels associated with it. One person doesn't at all. No biggie, no issues. That doesn't make sense, right? So if it was something truly structural, right? If there was some sort of illness in an organ in both people, you're going to have issues because you have to treat that. But with these functional labels, they're labels because they can't really explain the origin of it. And this is what we're saying is the origin. Actually, not just saying it, we are showing it time and time again through new research and through how people are healing. This is not because your body is broken or weak or too sensitive. It's truly because your body's security system got stuck in a protection gear and forgot how to shift back. And this might sound a lot right now, but this is good news. Like truly, truly good news, because a stuck nervous system is not broken. It's not something you just have to live with and manage. It's a system that learned something. It learned to protect you. It learned to protect you from some either traumatic experiences or not feeling seen or heard or not knowing how to manage or feel your emotions. There's a lot of layers on why this can happen. But it learned that those things are not okay. And it stressed your nervous system out over time. And so eventually something had to happen, right? Something had to spill out. And it's instead of the emotional pain, it turned on physical symptoms. And because it learned this, our brains and our bodies are so amazing, y'all. They're just so wise and wonderful, and we can unlearn it. We know this. Like neuroplasticity is literally the brain's way of changing. So, when you have this stuck place in your nervous system, you have certain neural networks in your brain that have encoded this pattern, essentially. So, you have these brain patterns that keep sending danger. But what we've known for many, many years is that neuroplasticity means our brains can change. It used to like a long time ago, we used to think like, "Oh, you hit 25, you have one brain and that's it, can't change anything." That's old, way old news. We know now that brains can change. Furthermore, we now know that these patterns that are patterns in the physical body actually have patterns in the brain. So we can change that, which is why now these symptoms that I'm talking about, chronic pain and illness, we call them neuroplastic symptoms. It literally is like the symptoms of your brain, symptoms of your nervous system. And so we're literally built to be able to shift back home. Now, I go way deeper on this whole nervous system piece in a couple of other episodes, so I'm going to link those below just so you can get more information here. I don't want to like bombard you with all this stuff in one episode. I really want you to put deep your feet in and grasp what's happening. And if this is something you already know and you're like, "Yeah, I know." Honestly, hear it again over and over and over again. Part of how our brains and our nervous system changes is repetition. And when I say repetition, I'm literally like, I'm saying it over and over and over and over and over again. Well, think about it this way. If you have been living with symptoms for years, it's going to take some time to rewrite those. It is. It's totally possible and happens all the time, but it's going to take some time to rewire those patterns. And the way that we rewire is repetition. Repetition with changing our brain training, repetition with changing the somatic body signals, meaning the hypervigilance in the body, anxiety in the body, feeling uneasy or uncomfortable in the body. We have to change both the brain to affect the body and both the body to affect the brain. So, if you really want to understand how to tell whether your symptoms are coming from your nervous system, listen to the episode below on how to know if your symptoms are caused by your nervous system. It's episode 114, linked below. And that one picks up right where I'm leaving off today. This is the episode to really help you grasp like what's happening in your body. So, I want to give another summary here. What happens in our nervous systems is that we end up with this small window of tolerance, which is why it feels like you're sensitive to everything. I mean, man, that was me. Like, I at one point was just like, I guess I have to live in my house and be in a bubble. Like, it feels like if I go anywhere, I do anything, I react in some way, shape, or form. I react to food. I have pain. I get sick. Like, it was just like one thing after another. And that is a small window of tolerance, meaning your nervous system doesn't have the tolerance for anything else that might be that comes in. Think of it as like the example of a overflowing bucket, right? If your bucket is just overflowing, it's not going to have any tolerance, any way to sift through anything else that's poured in that bucket. And when I say these things, I mean it could literally be a food, it could be a person, it could be a car ride, it could be travel. Anything that might seem just totally normal in life, you feel like you're sensitive to now. That's what I'm talking about. So over time, your nervous system has become very sensitive, which really just means a small window of tolerance. But what happens often with nervous system education and support is people kind of just stop there, like, "Oh, I recognize I'm sensitive." And then maybe you kind of get validated. You're like, "Okay, yeah, I'm just going to take care of my sensitive nervous system," which is great. I want you to take care of yourself. That's a big part of this process. But the next level of this, and really what this is all about, is expanding your window of tolerance so that basically you can teach your nervous system that, hey, even if we have stress, we can totally handle it. I don't need you to react to it. I don't need you to send me signals of danger. I don't need more pain. I don't need to be more susceptible to illness. I think this is truly the real wellness work. People are doing this by things like cold plunging and sauna and diet and like optimizing health. And I'm not going to totally shit on those. Like they're not bad. I mean, I take care of myself. I've always been into health and wellness. And at this point in my system, in my body, I feel pretty good. So I'm kind of curious about like, what does optimizing mean? But when you are in chronic symptoms, pain and illness, you don't need to optimize. You need to expand your tolerance, which happens in two ways. One, you start to build safety in your nervous system so that you have a foundation of, okay, it's like a foundation of grounding, right? It's like you got to mend the soil. You have to create more of the good soil, water it so that there's a good foundation for more to grow, for the flower to expand, essentially, or to plant more flowers. You have to have a foundation, a stable, a secure base, secure soil in order for more to grow. That starts with creating more safety in your body. And then the rewiring and the changing patterns is that expansion. That's rewiring. Regulating is this safety component. Rewiring is, hey, we're changing these signals and we need both. We have to have both in order to help you get out of that stuck place so that your body and brain don't need to send you danger that includes all different kinds of symptoms. And I'm actually just going to name all these symptoms right now, all the different types, or at least so far. There's more on this list. Honestly, we're discovering more and more about what is a neuroplastic symptom. What is a neuroplastic label? So far, what we know are things like chronic headaches and migraines, fibromyalgia, chronic pain. It could be neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, hip instability that could come from anything, whether that's disc degeneration, bulge disc, torn labrum, nerve issues, hypermobility, right? EDS and hypermobility is one of them, sciatica, any kind of muscle pain that keeps on going without any treatment actually being effective. Food intolerances is a big one. I'm not talking about allergies, like true allergies. I'm talking about any kind of food sensitivities or intolerances. Y'all, you're not sensitive to foods unless you have a literal true genetic component to it. It's your nervous system. IBS is a big one. IBS is totally gut brain connected. That's neuroplastic. Disordered eating can fall under this category. There's a very big overlap between disordered eating and neuroplastic symptoms. And I have another episode on that too that I can link as well. POTS or chronic dizziness. There's a lot more of this recently, and we really are trying to get the word out there that this doesn't have to be your life. It's not autoimmune. It's not something that you have to live with forever. POTS, chronic dizziness, tinnitus, those are neuroplastic, nervous system based. Chronic fatigue, ME/CFS, long COVID. We very much so know now that those are neuroplastic and we can totally retrain. It's not something that you just have to live with, or it's not the whole like, extra proteins or embedded infection or something like that, which also takes me to IC, interstitial cystitis, or OAB, overactive bladder. This is very, very much so a neuroplastic condition. I work with a lot of people with IC or OAB. You can be told a lot of things, right? There's something wrong with your bladder, you have an embedded infection, you have chronic UTIs. Those might be there, but it doesn't need to cause you pain, symptoms, burning, urgency, things like that. Pelvic pain also goes along with this. Chronic pelvic pain, very neuroplastic. Other symptoms with a 6+ month lifespan with no relief after medical intervention. So there's a lot of things out there like, chronic anxiety, high anxiety, depression, things that haven't been treated well that you're just managing. Those, we usually see a nervous system component to it. I am not saying that all physical ailments are neuroplastic. No, if you go and need to get something treated and you get it treated, you go through the protocol, you go through the treatment and it subsides and you're done. Great. That was structural and that's not neuroplastic. But what I've just described is more in the neuroplastic. If you want to go deeper on the science of how all this actually affects your body and you want to learn truly, like even if it's on that list that I just said, or there's more, or there's something else that you're questioning, I have a link below that you can watch a free video called How to Know If Your Symptoms Are Nervous System Driven and then What to Do with It. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It walks you through how to tell if your nervous system is behind your symptoms and way more deeply than I can do just in one episode. So I'd find that link below. Go ahead and watch it. You can let me know if you have any questions. I want to say another thing as well here that very clearly, what I'm saying is that it's not just in your head. Because when I say this, you might be like, but it is real, right? People think that all the time, like, but it's real. Yes, it is real. Neuroplastic symptoms do not mean your symptoms are just all in your head or they're just anxiety or they're just stress. I really need you to hear that. Your pain is real, your fatigue is real, your dizziness, your gut stuff, all of it. Every single thing is 100% real. You are not making it up, you're not being dramatic, and you're not weak. When your nervous system creates a symptom, that symptom is as real as any other. The difference is not whether it's real. The difference is where it's coming from. And that changes everything because it means the goal isn't to find something to cut out or medicate away. The goal is to help your nervous system feel safe again and then rewire. They're real symptoms, right, in your body. It's just a different root cause than you've probably been taught to look for. And so those things are true at the same time. If you want to really get solid in if this is right for you, again, go below, sign up for my free class, and you can watch it and get much more clarity. If you have really specific questions, if you were like, oh, that kind of fits me, that kind of doesn't, that's where I go deeper. And before we go, I want to say one more thing, especially if you're listening to this because someone sent it to you. The fact that someone in your life shared this with you means that they see you and they want to help you. They're not saying you're just stressed, right? And if you're finding this and you're just stepping into this world, welcome. You are not broken. You have not run out of options. It's such a lovely world to step into. There's a whole layer to healing that most people never get told about, and you've just found the door to it. The mind body healing world is just this wonderful family of people that just want to help each other. And furthermore, all of us therapists and clinicians and coaches that are doing it, we are a family because we are on this mission. We are on this mission to change how people see their health and not just change it, but help you change, like help you get out of the stuck place, right? So that's the whole point of this podcast. That's why people have free YouTube channels. Like we're literally just trying to get the information out there so that people can heal and they don't have to suffer forever. So, welcome. I am so glad you're here. Please be very gentle with yourself. This can be a lot to take in at first. And also, again, it's a wonderful place to land. I am here. If you have any questions at all, you can DM me. And by the way, this has been happening recently that people do DM me, but it goes straight to spam or my trash folder. And that folder, I don't check it because there's just so much spam there. Unfortunately, people spam you all the time. So if not, you can always, if you sign up for the masterclass, you can reply to our email and reach out at hello@healwithgrace.co and we will get back to you. And if you are a practitioner or a coach or a therapist or someone that sees clients and you're wanting to understand more about how to help them in this, I'm so glad you're here too. Seriously, that's our mission. If we can help more clinicians understand this work, we can help more people. So I am creating a training for therapists and coaches and practitioners to help you go deeper into this work for yourself, but also truly learn how to confidently treat clients and patients. You can find the waitlist below. We start this fall 2026, and I will send you more information when you sign up. This is the first time I'm doing it, so there's a founding cohort that will be the first one, and you'll get special pricing and things like that as we go through it. So make sure to sign up if you're interested at all, and we can go from there. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep healing with grace.